So, I need to make a video for mandatory fun day. Austin. So, I just saw the video of you getting a stuffed animal from your wife. Mentioning working through the inner child healing because of circumstances with trauma with foster care. And I'm going to go ahead and address the elephant in the room because of the factor that, honestly, even with the dark humor and the constant cynicism, the trauma, I honestly didn't expect you to be the person that would be able to understand the trauma the most. Alright, little background. When I was a kid, I ended up getting to experience having the shit beat out of me repeatedly. Pretty much got singled out as a bully. Well, meantime, first time I ended up getting completely having the shit beat out of me was somewhere between the ages of 6 and 8. My uncle, who dealt with post-combat PTSD, ended up just completely just tearing me up. Went down for vacation to Virginia. Pretty much ended up following my sister. Phone calls monitored. There was a lot of things that ended up leading to that complete and total fallout, but I ended up having a strained relationship with my sister and my family because of the factor that me and my sister had different dads, same mom. My sister never liked me, and fucked up thing is I actually looked up to her. Had half siblings that lived close by. Never got to meet most of father's side of the family. Didn't really get to know much of that details. The guy that I looked up to, Vietnam veteran, taught me how to fish, taught me how to work on the boat, taught me even how to drive. Actually, to practice that, he'd take me to, go ride go-karts. So I'd learned how to drive not only car, I ended up by the point of 12 years old, I had already gotten to the point of learning how to be able to drive a 50-foot boat. So I know that's not a common experience for most people, but ended up getting put in respites. There was this one foster home in Deer Park that my entire abdominal area completely bruised, just one giant black bruise with green splotches. To this day, actually, these ribs hinge in. That foster home ended up getting shut down because of me helping and actually complying with, child protective services. Ended up having to do community service. Ended up going and getting put by the court because of a PINS petition my mom put on, which is Persons in Need of Supervision, which is a voluntary, troubled youth court program. Ended up getting put into a group home. With that group home, I ended up getting suspended from the bus. Pretty much got bullied. There was an attempt to bully me out of school in order to go ahead and get my past record done and everything. I'd been willing to go ahead and, be one of the test case studies for that online military school program. Ended up spending almost a decade, after I had gotten racially profiled and, ended up apparently going and having to do time, sitting in a privatized prison for something that I had literally already paid my debt to society for back when I was a teenager, had done all my numerous years on probation, thousands of hours of community service, ended up finding out about some fraud that was going on. I had reported it. That reporting ended up finding to be true. Ended up leading to the discovery of hundreds and thousands of dollars embezzled from, different people that ended up homeless. Ended up getting displaced myself. A lot of clerical and paperwork errors. While at the same time doing that federal work study program. Ultimately, I've had some issues when it comes down to circumstances with, the VA and the Wounded Warrior Project, and, the way the entire situation ended up escalating, especially considering the factor that a lot of the things that I had to deal with were stigmas because of my biological father being locked up for life, what he was locked up for. Spent my childhood going ahead and actually distributing gifts to other kids that had parents in the prison ministry. A lot of fucked up twists and turns and situations. Financially abused for a long time. Still trying to figure out how to find my way forward. Now completely separated from the person that I was married to. A lot of the situations happening too because of gay conversion therapy. That whole Rape the Gateway program and the downfalls that ended up coming from that. And now I can't even relate to my family whatsoever. And I didn't want to accept the factor that there would actually be somebody that might be able to get it. So the factor that you make those videos and end up clarifying that you got similar trauma, it's not gonna lie, it's starting to get to me. Especially because I know realistically we're never gonna talk. We don't know each other. Despite the factor of the things that I ended up learning and the contributions that I've ended up making throughout the last 20 years of my life. I don't get to see it amount to anything. And I don't get to get that time back either. It's a lot to process, a lot to cope with, but yeah. Still dealing with that. Still yeah, if you're up to it, still keep making the content. And as far as inner child healing and everything, I get it. But yeah.